Hey everyone, Laurel here, and welcome to another video. Today I've got a card to share with you that I made for the current Simon Says Stamp Challenge, which goes live today. And the challenge is Let's Be Clear. So you can use anything clear, clear stamps, clear like glossy accents, acetate, vellum, that kind of stuff. So I'm using some translucent embossing paste and some glossy accents for the clear items on my card today. So to start with, I'm taking that Simon Says Stamp circle stencil, and I'm inking it up with some picked raspberry distress ink, and then I'm going to pair that with some evergreen bough distress ink to create a couple of different colors there. So I love this stencil. It's got those really big circles there, which are so much fun to work with, and you can use all of the stencil, part of the stencil, or whatever to create a background. But for here I'm using the entire stencil, and I'm going to be layering on some color. You can see that evergreen bough also can take a purple shade as well when you combine the picked raspberry together. So I'm just going to be inking up the edges and the center and just kind of moving between the two different colors until I get a look that I'm satisfied with. As you can see, I love those new round mini blending tools, by the way. They're fantastic. I've replaced all of my distressing pads with the little small round ones. So now we're going to use the translucent embossing paste, and the one that I'm using is by Wendy Vecchi, and it's fantastic. And in the way I'm using it is I'm actually going to go over the top with the translucent embossing paste, and when it dries, all of those stenciled circles that we just created are going to have this really nice sheen to it. So it's really quite pretty. So to start with, you just kind of smear it on like you do any kind of embossing paste, or like you're frosting a cake or whatever. Now I'm not going to put the excess embossing paste back into the tub because some of my distress ink color is going to transfer into the embossing paste. So I'm being very careful how much I use because I don't like to waste my paste. You can see it kind of leaves a little bit of pink shade onto the paste there. So I'm kind of working off of the lid there. I don't want to contaminate my entire jar of embossing paste there. And I love the translucent paste. It goes on white and then it dries clear. And I've actually made a video comparing the white with the clear that I'll link below in the YouTube video, as well as over on my blog if you want to check that out. So now I'm going to peel up my stencil, and then I'll get to see everything that I made because I hadn't even peeled it up before I put the distressing colors down. And that's what it looks like wet. And now when it's dry, you can see how it's completely clear. And I left some texture on there because it almost looks like it's cracked a little bit just by not making it completely smooth. And I really like the look there. So now I'm going to make this peekaboo panel here using some more Simon Says Stamp exclusive dies here. And as you can see, I've got some glossy accents on that bee, and we'll get to that in a second. So I need to do some partial die cutting here in order to create the peekaboo panel. And I'm going to be using these tri-circle dies by Simon Says Stamp. And I'm pairing that up with my Cuttlebug. And to do the partial die cutting, you just want to have your plate not covering the complete die. And I'll show you, I went a little fast there, so I'm going to slow it down, and I'm going to show you what I meant by that in just a second. But when I peel off the masking tape, now I put that there to hold my die in place. I don't want it shifting around when I run it through the Cuttlebug. But let me show you that again. I'm going to put the plate down, and everything to the left of that top plate is going to get die cut. So you can see that top part on the right doesn't have a plate sitting over the top, so that part's not going to be cut, and that's what's going to create our peekaboo panel, as you can see there. So now I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to layer it down, and I need to have some images stamped inside those circles. So I'm just taking a pencil and I'm outlining the inside circle so I know exactly where to stamp when I go to stamp on the card base there. And I'm going to be using this stamp set as well from Simon Says Stamp. It coordinates perfectly with the circle dies there that we just used. So I decided to use the bee and kind of put the trail there. And I'm masking off that left-hand side because you'll be able to see the outer edges of the card. I'm going to have a 1/4 inch frame going around. So I'm masking off that part so that part doesn't show, and you'll see what I mean in just a second. And then I'm going to go ahead and stamp that bee with some Versamark Onyx Black ink. And I like this ink. It's a pigment ink, and it also stays wet long enough for me to do some heat embossing. I just like heat embossing my images, especially on a busy card like that with that top panel that we're going to layer on. I think that black embossing powder really makes the images pop. So I'm just going to go ahead and heat that up with my heat tool there. and then we'll be ready to just finish up the card. We're almost done here. I'm recording this as a voiceover from the beach house I'm vacationing at, and so I keep looking off to the left and seeing the wonderful beach. I'm not really a beach person because I don't like getting sandy, but I do like the views of the beach. I like walking on the beach in the evenings, and I love the sounds the wave makes. So anyway, I'm also talking very soft because it's early in the morning and I don't want to wake anybody up. So now I'm taking my Wink of Stella glitter pen here in orange and yellow to color in that bumblebee there, and then I'm going to cut it out and layer the body over the image that we stamped there. So I'm just doing some very quick fussy cutting here with my scissors, and then I'm going to adhere that down. Anytime I cut anything, I go around the edges with a black marker. It just gives it a nice finished look. It looks like I cut it better than I really did. I'm not the best at fussy cutting. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that the body of the bumblebee down. And I decided I really didn't want it to have pink wings, so I'm taking a white big brush marker by Faber-Castell and just going in and kind of giving them a light white wash. And I just love the way that looks. So that's the base layer of the card. Doesn't look like much, but when you go and put your peekaboo panel on the top, it's really cool. So I'm going to take my corner chomper here. I'm not for sure. I think I used the 1/4 inch. Yeah, I used the 1/4 inch measurement here, just around the corners a little bit. And now I'm going to go ahead and adhere that peekaboo panel with this ginormous roll of scotch tape there. It's double-sided tape. It's dimensional tape. I really thought it needed to be popped up. You can also cut little notches in your circle down at the bottom if you want them to have like a little notch, so to speak, so they know it's a peekaboo panel, but I didn't do that in this card. I didn't want anything else going on. So I'm going to go ahead and adhere that down, and that's it. We've almost done here. Adding a little bit of glossy accents again to celebrate the clear challenge over at Simon Says Stamp. So I've got the clear glossy accents and the clear translucent embossing paste, and that's my card. And it's so much fun. I think the recipient will love it, and that's it. So head on over to the Simon Says Stamp Challenge blog if you want to play along with the challenge this week. Head on over to my blog at laurelbeard.org to see the supply list and more pictures. Thanks for watching.